Everybody heard what Ali had mentioned about the Valley of Tears and one of the greatest tank battles that was ever fought here. Now I heard a story, United with Israel posted a story as to why those Syrian tanks turned around. And this is what they said, that the Mossad interrogated interrogated the commander of Syria's 9th Army Division and asked why they retreated. This is what he said, that they saw a whole host of angels standing on the missile lines. That's what his words were. I want you to think of 2 Kings chapter 6 and Elisha and his servant. Remember, the Syrians were coming and bringing their armies, and they wanted to get rid of Elisha. And Elisha's servant was scared. And Elisha said, God, open up his eyes that he may see. And what did they see? Horses and chariots. Again, angels, right? Well, here we're seeing insurmountable odds that Israel won that war in 1973. And I don't know if you heard the story, but this was the closest that Israel ever came to being defeated in the Yom Kippur War. And at that time, Richard Nixon was President of the United States. And of course, as Ali said, Golda Meir was the Prime Minister of Israel. And this is the story that I heard, that she made a call to Richard Nixon and said, Mr. President, if you don't help us, my people will be no more. And Richard Nixon said this to her. He said, my mother always said, Richard, if you ever become President of the United States, don't ever forget the Jewish people. And after that call, Israel, or the United States, sent over $2.2 billion in aid and much necessary military equipment. And the tide of the war changed. But you can't just say that it was because of the United States sending military aid that Israel won that war. The hand of God again was upon the Jewish people. And I want you to think of all the wars that Israel fought. In 1948, General Shalom Friends, one of Israel's most beloved generals, he was there. He fought in the War of Independence. And he said this, that Israel won that war at 10-to-1 odds when 600,000 Arab soldiers came who were well-armed, well-equipped, well-trained from 5 Arab countries. And they came with hundreds of planes, hundreds of tanks, and they came to destroy the Jewish people, to finish what Hitler started. But God had a different plan, didn't he? Because a mere army of 60,000 soldiers made up of men and women, not everyone had a gun, made up of Holocaust survivors, with a couple tanks and only a few planes, that the only country that would sell it to them was from Czechoslovakia. And Israel won that war at 10-to-1 odds. They also won this war and the 6-Day War. What can we make of all this? This is what we make of all of this. Psalm 121, behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Psalm 124, verse 1, 2, and 3. If it not had been the Lord who was on our side, now may Israel say, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side when men rose up against us, then they would have swallowed us up quick when their wrath was kindled against us. Psalm 125, verse 2, as the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so the Lord is round about his people from henceforth, even forever. To God be the glory, everyone. To God be the glory.